To get started with the project, we're going to find instructions under API reference and here chat. So here we're going to see instructions as to how to create a chat completion. And here what you need to do is to define first a request. Inside this request, you're going to find the model. We're going to specify the model endpoints. And the prompt will be a list of messages. So we can see an example request on the right. So first we configure the project with OpenNI, with the OpenNI key, and we create an object OpenNI. And from here, we can then generate a completion. So we must specify the model and also the prompt, which will be a list of messages. And from the top, you can select the model and also select the library, which will be the Node.js library for our example. So from here, I can copy this example and go back to my project. So we're going to complete it in order to get started. And first, we need to configure OpenNI. So this is what we're doing with configuration. And we specify here, so the API key. So this is the only attribute that takes this class. And we create an object. From here, we create an object, which is OpenNI. And finally, we can then create a completion. And for this one, I'm going to copy from line 13 to 20. I'm going to cut and place it right here inside this endpoint, which is the route ask, where we're going to define the prompt in order to get a response from the language model. And we're going to start with a system message right here. So you see that for the role, we specify system, and this is to tell the language model how to behave, how to act. So for example, we can say you're a helpful assistant. And so the language model knows which behavior and output is expected from the user. And finally, we're going to output the answer, the completion answer. So this is just to get started. And by the way, if you go back to the documentation, you're going to see an example of a response after sending a request. So what you're going to get is this array, choices. Inside, you're going to find the message which is coming from the assistant bot. You can see that the role is assistant. And the message, which is the value of the property content. So let's try that. And in order to test our project, we're going to find instructions on the README. We're going to use curl in order to send a request. And we're going to specify here the endpoint, which is ask. This is a post request, and also the body that we're going to send with this request, which will be our message to the system, to the language model. And we're just going to say something simple as, hi, this is a test prompt. So I'm going to copy this and go back to the console. I'm going to make sure that my project is up and running. So I'm going to run with npm run start. And I'm going to open a new window, a new terminal. I'm going to go to our current project. And now I'm going to paste this request. And this is going to send a message. Here we go. So now we get the message, which is message from the API. Very simple. So let's go back, because this time what we want is to actually send this with here, message from the API. So this is simple, but the completion, I think it's going to be visible right here. Right here. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. The details of the response from the API. So we're going to find, I'm going to find right here. So this is, there should be this array, which is choices right here, which is an object. So this is not detailed, but we're going to see the details actually from here. And I'm going to update this to be completions, data, choices, and message. So we're going to copy all of that. Let's go back, and I'm going to update here my setup. And I'm going to replace whatever I send back from my request. So that's going to be from these choices. So that's going to be the first element object from this array. And that's going to be the message that we get back from the model, from the bot. So let's try that again. But this time what we want is to actually send this. So I'm going to update here my request. So you see that when we test with curl, I'm going to update and send this. And that's going to be this message, which is that says hello world. I'm going to update and we're going to say hello world, something like that. So let's try it. I'm going to say curl. I'm going to run it. Oh, let's start the server again. Let's go back and we're going to run this to see what is the response from the bot. Hello, how can I assist you today? Perfect. So this is working just fine. Okay, so this is a good starting point. So the next step will be to interact with the bot, with the language model, from an interface.